won't none! You don't want none!
What's going on, Tar Heel Nation? It is your favorite North Carolinian, Russ the Tar Heel, and Happy New Year. Let's make sure that we make 2024 a year to remember. I literally just got back like an hour and a half in the gym. Day one, it was not stinking fun. I got my protein shake right here after a 12-hour shift, and I am smoked. So I apologize about the lateness of the video. But in today's huddle, we're going to discuss the number 8 North Carolina Tar Heels ACC battle with the 9-4, 0-2 in conference play, Pitt Panthers in Pittsburgh. The Tar Heels and Panthers will square off at 7 p.m. January 2nd on ESPN. But before we get into the nuts of the bolts of that game, let's take a look at the updated AP Top 25 rankings and the ACC rankings, if you will. So as you can see, UConn moves up to number 4, Tennessee moves up to number 5, Kentucky moves up to number 6, North Carolina is number 8, and Oklahoma is number 11. And it is still crazy to me that Carolina has played 4 top 11 teams in the first half of the season. And we haven't even gotten to Duke yet, which is a perennial top 15 team. So, I mean, Carolina's schedule has been pretty tough. And they're 2-2 against those teams, which is actually pretty stinking good if you ask me. So it's real good to see that they've played a really tough schedule. Now, North Carolina is currently tied for first place in the ACC with Clemson, Wake Forest, NC State, Miami, and Georgia Tech. Obviously, that's only one game in. But don't you just love to see Duke all the way down there, even though, once again, it's only one game. It still looks so stinking good, bro. Now, the all-time record between UNC and Pitt on the hardwood is surprisingly UNC with an 8-7 head-to-head lead. The first meeting was back on February 15, 2014, that saw the Heels beat Pitt 75-71 in Chapel Hill. The last game played, however, was February 1st, 2023, where the Pitt Panthers beat the Heels 65-64 in Chapel Hill. Crazy that Pitt has won 3 straight and 5 of the last 6. So UNC is going to have to break this stinking curse, especially considering that they're led by Jeff Capel. Just, you know who I'm talking about if you're a Carolina fan. It bothers me. So now let's look at those Pitt Panthers, who are led by the aforementioned Jeff Capel, graduate of Puke University, who is currently in his 6th season as the Panthers head coach. He's amassed an 84-85 record at Pitt, but he is 259-195 overall. The Pitt Panthers' leading scorer is 6'8", 230-pound senior forward Blake Hinson, who's averaging 19.5 points per game, 5 rebounds, 1 assist. He's shooting 46.1% from the field and 43.8% from 3. Then there's 6'5", 190-pound freshman guard Carlton Carrington, who is averaging 14.1 points per game, 5.3 rebounds, 5.2 assists. He's shooting 42.9% from the field and 31.7% from 3. 6'3", 185-pound junior guard Ishmael Leggett is averaging 13.2 points per game, 6.1 rebounds, 2.8 assists. He's shooting 40.8% from the floor and only 32.5% from 3. 6'7", 210-pound junior forward Zach Austin is averaging 7.4 points per game, 5.3 rebounds per game. He's shooting 44.9% from the field and 75% from the charity stripe. And last but not least, 6'11", 225-pound junior forward Federico, who's averaging 5.6 points per game and 4.8 rebounds. Kid shooting 65% from the field, but 42.5% from the free throw line. So that could be pivotal later on down the road in the latter stretches of the game. Pitt usually goes about 8 to 9 deep, so don't be surprised to see forward William Jeffries, forward Jorge Diaz-Graham, his twin, Guillermo Diaz-Graham, and Jalen Lowe. And Guillermo was a guy that can score, and he might even be in the starting lineup. Who stinking knows? And now for the good guys in Carolina Blue, led by head coach Hubert Davis, who is in his third year at his alma mater. He's amassed a 58-26 coaching record at UNC, good for a .690 winning percentage. And the Heels' leading scorer is 6 foot 180 pounds senior guard R.J. Davis. My man is averaging 21.6 points per game, 8 in a row of 20-plus points, 3.4 rebounds, 3.6 assists, while shooting 44.2% from the field and 38.9% from three. He's averaging 94.9% from the line. RJ's my stinking guy, man. He is my stinking guy. The Heels starting point guard is 6 foot 180 pound freshman guard Elliot Cadeau, who is averaging 7.3 points per game, 1.8 rebounds, 3.7 assists, and shooting 44.8% from the field and 28.6% from three. It was good to see him knock down that open look against Charleston Southern because teams are going to continue to give that to him, so he's got to knock down a couple. 6'5", 195-pound senior guard Cormac Ryan is averaging 11.2 points per game, 3.4 rebounds, 1.4 assists. He's shooting 38.2% from the field and only 29% from three. But it seems like that's kind of slowly ticking back up just a little bit. Then there's 6'7", 235-pound junior forward Harrison Ingram, who is averaging 13.9 points per game, 6.3 rebounds, and 2.5 assists while shooting 47.5% from the field and 45.1% from three. And then the 6'11", 240-pound senior preseason All-American forward Armando Bacot, who is averaging a double-double, 14.8 points per game, 10.8 rebounds, 1.3 assists. He's shooting 53% from the field. So now that we've taken a look at those starting lineups, let's look at Russ's 3 keys to victory. Key number 1, start fast, break the curse. As was aforementioned, UNC has lost 3 straight to Pitt, including 5 of the last 6. No stinking bueno. We're Carolina, especially considering the fact that they are led by Jeff Capel. Pitt is a decent basketball team, but the Heels need to start fast on the road and take the fight out of the Panthers early. Key number 2, bully the bully. Pitt is going to be a physical team. Carolina needs to match that physicality and make sure that they know that the Heels aren't just a finesse team. When Pitt punches, and I'm talking about figuratively speaking, of course, Carolina needs to punch back. Hold your ground. Don't back down. Bully the bully. And key number 3, dribble, drive. Carolina did an outstanding job at times during the Charleston Southern game of getting into the lane, creating easier buckets against the Buccaneers of Charleston Southern. They need to stack those games back to back. Elliott needs to be aggressive and continually attempt to get into the interior of that Pitt defense for easy drop-offs to Mondo, Harrison, and even Jalen Washington when he comes in for the two-handed slams. And or easy kickouts to RJ, Harrison, and Cormac. Allowing those guys to step into open looks is going to be pivotal in Carolina going to Pitt and coming out with a W. So be aggressive. Dribble, drive. And that will take us to Russ's score prediction. The North Carolina Tar Heels are currently 3.5-point favorites in this game according to ESPN Bet. I definitely believe that this is going to be a challenging basketball game for the Heels. Pitt is a tough and physical basketball team, but I really like the way the Heels have played as a whole, as a team, from the OU game before Christmas to the Charleston Southern game after. The one thing that kind of worries me just a little bit, guys, is the fact that this is North Carolina's first really true road game. That could be a significant factor, especially if the Pitt faithful come out in force against a top 10 UNC team. I still, though, like the Heels to cover and beat the Pitt Panthers 79-74 in a really entertaining basketball game. And that would move the Heels to 2-0 in the ACC. So tell me what you think about my keys to success and my scoring prediction down in the comment section. Tar Heel and Pitt Panther Nation. Let me know what your score predictions are as well. Am I onto something? Or am I sitting down on the edge of the bench with a pair of bifocals and a clipboard because I have no stinking idea what I'm talking about? If you haven't already, please like, share, subscribe to the channel, and become a member of the Huddle Hooligans today to help support the channel. Just hit the join button and follow the prompts. I can't make this channel great without you guys. And unfortunately, though, there will be no live stream for this game, because I will be working, and I did it to myself, and I can't get out of it, so I apologize, Tar Heel Nation. Hopefully this will just be a one-off, but there will obviously still be a reaction video shortly after the game, so you make sure that you stay tuned for that. Anyways, I love you, Tar Heel Nation. Happy New Year's once again, and we'll catch you on the next one, baby. Go Heels.